It's now finally time to complete an opportunity, submit your paperwork to your instructor for approval, and get credit for the skills that you observed, were able to practice, or were able to test in the field and prove that you're confident in. So the best way to do that is the opportunity has now passed, you've completed your shift, and now it's time to do the paperwork. So you click on Opportunities, you click on My Opportunities, and these are the ones you've been approved for, have passed, and now look a little different. So this particular opportunity occurred on 6/4/2012 from 11:48 to 19:48. It's certainly not graded yet, and we know where it occurred. So I'll draft my notes. I'll start to get ready to complete this opportunity, and I'll go ahead and click on Complete Opportunity. Remember, this is like an affidavit or a legal form. You're submitting actually evidence that you were at a clinical, you're submitting what you completed, and you're actually creating a dossier for yourself. So what you're going to do now is you're going to go ahead and sign up for this opportunity, and you're going to submit a preceptor who witnessed that event. If for some reason there's no one populated here, you'll need to do that at this time. So in this particular world, I'm going to tell my instructor who I saw. This was a charge nurse who witnessed this event. Her name was Shirley Jones. And Shirley Jones would not give me her email, and that's fine, but I did create an identity for her. And it's her first and last name. So when she logs in, she can actually audit my performance later on. Click on Next. Shirley Jones witnessed that event. And from 11:48 to around 1900, I did 8 hours and 4 minutes at that location, and that's basically a submission for how much time I spent on scene or at that event. At around 12 o'clock, I saw my first patient. It was a 45-year-old male, and he actually had chest pain. So in that particular world, I'll be very specific to say chest pain. I was able to observe an adult assessment. I was also able to establish an IV on this patient, so venous access successful, and submit that. And then I also got to see them actually take care of intubating the guy ultimately. So let's go ahead and see here. He was intubated. There we go. Go ahead and add that. And then I'll put some extra notes in here, maybe a narrative, patient was nice, or important notes that your instructors ask you to put in this particular location. Once I press Add Another, I'll be actually submitting that information for review. It's very important to have all your patients' records reported at the same time. So at 1300, I saw my next patient. They were actually a little baby, and they were around 6 months old. It was a female, and she had an animal bite. During that time, I actually completed a pediatric assessment. So pediatric assessment, and I was successful, the nurse felt, and now I have credit for that assessment, and so on. So you put your notes in here, and then summary of the shift here, and then click on Next. This is actually called the clinical site evaluation. This is you judging the site, so you're going to go ahead and view this particular sheet. You'll decide on a scale from 1 to 5 what you thought of a facility. Was a preceptor willing to help you? 5 is the best. Yes, and comments. Did you feel like the equipment and the procedures and they took time to explain that to your stuff? Rate that from 1 to 5, and so on and so forth. Any indication less than a 3 will be reported to your instructor for review. Please make sure your comments are professional at all times, as this is a document, and then make sure you don't neglect putting general comments, what you like best about the facility and the experience, what you thought would be better if you could change it, and then did the staff know you were coming? Did they know what you could do? Once that's all set and the fields are populated, you'll need to put information in those fields if it's required by your instructor. Go ahead and do so and click Next. This particular page is for additional documentation that would be required for your clinicals as determined by your instructor. For example, you may have to use an extra run form that's available here from the system, or use an alternative documentation form from the system, or upload or pull documents from your hard drive and share those with your instructors. And the way you do that is you click on Browse, grab them from your hard drive, and then press upload, and they'll populate down here in the bottom. This process usually takes most learners about 10 to 15 minutes to do the first time, and it goes faster certainly later on. The first time you do it, however, some learners are reporting it could take them up to an hour. The browsers most of the time will allow you to log in for 60 minutes, and then it will cut you off the internet. So just keep that in mind as you're going through the process. I'm certain there's a learning curve here for you. But if you have any questions about the system or you need some help, please contact me or your instructor. You can do so by contacting us right here, and our team email will be launched. Or you can contact me directly as a clinical coordinator for Platinum Planner at 616-890-7103. So once we're ready, we're confident everything is reported accurately, we'll click on Submit Form. And now it's submitted to the instructor for approval and recording in my reports. Those reports eventually will be populated here in a skills report format or in a details report. So again, remember this information is very important to document accurately, as if it's been submitted, it's very hard to retrieve, and it's also a legal document. Once you submit it to your instructor, they'll be also reviewing it for accuracy and any types of flaws. The preceptor may also offer feedback, and you may find the opportunity is rejected the first few times until you learn how to do it. So hopefully you found this information useful. My name is Tom, and thanks very much for joining us.